Most people think the only way to harvest 50 pounds of potatoes is to have deep, pristine farm soil and the space to work it properly. They're wrong. And planting your potatoes directly into the ground right now might be the exact reason your yields stay small, scabbed, and disappointing season after season. The gardening industry loves the image of the perfectly tilled backyard plot, the pristine rows, the hilled earth, the aesthetics of traditional cultivation. But beneath the surface, that conventional soil is running a silent heist on your harvest, and the mechanism behind it is something most gardening channels never get to. By the end of this video, you will know the 3 specific structural reasons containers completely re-engineer potato biology, and the exact principle that allows a single grow bag to out-yield a standard 10-foot garden bed. Look, I have a take on this. I came into this believing container planting was a gimmick, a compromise for people who didn't have real land. I'll be honest about where I stood. I thought it was lazy. But I was forced to follow the evidence. I remember sitting at the kitchen table at about 6 in the morning before anyone else was up, going through extension office field trials from 3 different universities. Something landed. The data showed that potatoes grown in unrestricted, highly aerated environments produced up to 40% more tuber mass per square foot than those compressed by standard garden soil. I sat back. I realized I'd been repeating the old advice with complete confidence, and I was wrong. Traditional garden earth is a statistical trap. Unless you are growing in perfect, loose, sandy loam, your soil is constantly fighting against your crop. When you pack heavy earth around a developing potato, you are forcing the plant to spend its limited photosynthetic energy pushing against physical resistance rather than expanding its cell walls. A 2019 trial from the University of Kentucky Extension Program confirmed what those early morning papers showed me. Container and raised bed grown potatoes consistently outperformed in-ground plantings in heavy clay and mixed suburban soils. Not because of fertility differences, because of aeration. That distinction, aeration over fertility, is the piece most gardening advice skips entirely. People buy expensive amendments. They add compost, they fertilize. The potatoes still underperform because the fundamental physical structure of the ground is working against the plant. In a bag or a container, you build the structure from scratch, every time. You are not inheriting decades of compacted backyard dirt. You are building an optimal root environment deliberately. Are you currently growing in heavy clay, compacted soil, or a bed that stays wet in spring? Drop your soil type below. I want to see how widespread this problem actually is. Now let's talk about what potatoes actually need underground, because this is where the container argument gets specific. Before I go further, let me explain something. There is a fundamental difference between soil as a growing medium and soil as a living ecosystem. Dead soil grows plants the way a hospital keeps patients alive, through constant external intervention, synthetic inputs, and rescue sprays. Living soil grows plants the way a healthy body maintains itself, through internal microbial systems that self-regulate. Think of it like a hybrid car running only on one power source. Most home growers pour in nitrogen liquids while the biological backup sits completely dead and disconnected. Inside a controlled container, you manufacture living soil from day one. The microbial architecture is yours to build. Nothing is inherited. Everything is intentional. The reason this matters here is that container growing isn't just about drainage. It's about building the right biological conditions before the plant ever goes in. But the living soil principle is only the first layer. The real enemy of the underground harvest is water stagnation. In a traditional garden bed, heavy rain saturates the root zone. Oxygen levels drop. When water sits around a forming tuber for any length of time, it triggers an anaerobic cascade. The pores on the skin of the potato, called lenticels, expand to breathe. Fungal spores find the opening. The result isn't just surface rot, it's a total metabolic shutdown. The plant stops producing starch because it's suffocating from the roots up. Containers change the physics of drainage entirely. Water moves through a fabric bag via gravity, pulling fresh oxygen down behind it. The excess exits through the sides and base. The anaerobic conditions that trigger disease and rot simply don't develop. And because the disease cycle is structural rather than chemical, it breaks not because you treated the soil, but because you removed it. When a root tip reaches the side of a fabric bag, it meets air. The tip dies back. The plant responds by producing lateral roots behind that pruning point. Those laterals branch again. The root system becomes denser, more efficient, and more capable of supporting heavy tuber production. This is the same principle used in commercial tree production to prevent root spiraling, applied to vegetable growing by accident, then confirmed deliberately. The air pruning effect in fabric bags produces root architecture that a solid plastic container cannot replicate, and in-ground growing achieves only in the most ideal conditions. I can already see the comment someone is typing right now, but don't containers dry out too fast in July? I thought the same thing. I assumed the water cost would ruin the economics of the crop. But cross-referencing evaporation rates against a specific mulching layer changed that assumption completely. A 4-inch cap of shredded straw or shredded leaves on top of the container creates a thermal barrier that preserves moisture while maintaining a cooler root zone than open ground. It tricks the plant into thinking it's buried deep in the earth, while the roots enjoy maximum oxygen at the surface layer. If you want to return to this specific soil and mulch ratio when you set up your bags, save this video now. You'll find it in your saved playlist when you're outside with dirt on your hands and need the measurements. Actually, stop what you're doing for a second. This next part is the piece everything else was building toward. Harvest. To harvest potatoes from the ground, you drive a spade or fork into the earth, blind to everything happening beneath the surface. A 2022 agricultural extension report found that up to 15% of home-scale potato harvests are damaged by tool puncture during the dig. A punctured potato cannot store, it rots within days, destroying the entire shelf-life proposition of the crop. And you always leave the small ones behind. They become volunteers the following year, carrying disease over into your next rotation. In a container, the harvest isn't a dig, it's a reveal. You tip the bag onto a tarp. The loose, aerated medium falls away naturally. Every potato, from the large bakers down to the tiny creamers, is clean, intact, and visible. Zero tool damage, zero lost tubers, zero disease vectors left behind. The yield number at the end of a bag season is your actual yield. Not your approximate yield, not your digging yield, the real number. And the real number, consistently, is higher per square foot than ground planting. Not because bags are magic, but because the controlled environment produces more consistent tuber set and the harvest method recovers everything the plant actually grew. If you want to understand your garden's biological systems better than mainstream gardening content has time to explain, subscribe. We go this deep every single week. This channel isn't for people who want the comfortable, aesthetic version of growing. It's for people who would rather understand the mechanism and be uncomfortably right than follow old traditions and be comfortably wrong. If that's you, you're in the right place. Here is the watch-through reward. Most gardening guides tell you to hill your potatoes as they grow, adding soil to force more tubers along the buried stem. What the plant physiology research actually shows is that indeterminate varieties will only develop tubers up to a specific height relative to the original seed piece. Hill beyond 12 inches, and you aren't adding more potatoes. You are burying the leaves that are supposed to be catching solar energy. You are starving the lower tubers to build an empty dirt mound. In a 10-gallon grow bag, fill the bottom with 6 inches of medium, drop the seed piece, and add another 6 inches as the plant grows. Once you reach the top of the bag, stop. Let the canopy expand. That volume match is the maximum architectural efficiency of the plant. Every layer you add below that threshold is productive. Every layer beyond it is performance. Share this video with the specific person in your life who still spends weekends digging up clay and wondering why it isn't working. What they're missing isn't effort, it's the mechanism. Now that you understand why the boundary changes the yield underground, you need to understand how this same containment principle applies to blight prevention across seasons. Because the disease cycle that destroys in-ground crops year after year breaks completely when the medium is replaced rather than rotated. That video is next. I almost wish I hadn't found those extension papers at 6 in the morning, because once you see the physics of compaction and oxygen exchange laid out clearly, you can't go back to the version of gardening where traditional row cropping feels like the natural choice. You are stuck with this now, just like I am. Take one fabric grow bag this weekend. Put it beside your existing bed. Fill it with 50% compost and 50% coarse cocoa coir or peat. Drop 2 seed potatoes in. Don't dig a trench, just watch the difference in top growth velocity over the first 21 days. The visual evidence will do the rest. You are not someone who is just playing around with dirt. You are someone who now understands the micromechanics of root architecture, drainage physics, and tuber formation. That changes how you see every square inch of your growing space. Which of these container principles are you testing first this season? If you're already running bags, post your size and your soil mix below. Let's look at the data together.